going to happen. We will be alert, and that we can jump on every opportunity, and if we find opportunities who can help us, who can contribute to come into higher performance levels, we have to do it.
All right, Dharmesh, who are these opportunities he's talking about?
I mean, it's interesting he says left back, first of all. I think that's a nod towards what happened last season, because they were playing so many players out of position because Tyrone Malacia was out for the entire season. He's still injured now. Luke Shaw had such an injury-ravaged season last season, and it's since transpired, since he's come back from the Euros, he's not going to be available till after the first international break. So that's one to watch, a left-sided central defender or a left back as well. The midfielder. This is an interesting one because it looks like a priority position for Manchester United for the remaining 2 weeks. But I'm told they are remaining patient because we do know one of the primary targets is PSG's Manuel Ugarte, but none of the prices being quoted. But Manchester United are pretty relaxed about it at the moment because they know the player wants to come. Personal terms are not expected to be a problem, and they probably detect that PSG will probably need to do a deal because they brought in João Neves for £50 million. He's going to start for PSG. Uarte's game time was limited as it was last season without Neves being there. Now he is there. It's going to be further limited this season. And interestingly, they kick off their Liga season tonight against Le Havre, do PSG, and they publicised their squad list for that game. And who's not in that squad list? Manuel Ugarte. Read into that what you will. Of course, he was at the Copa America, so maybe they could argue he's just been given extra rest. But people put two and two together and think, is there something afoot? But United, it must be said, are staying pretty relaxed. They would need the asking price to come down in the final 2 weeks of this window to really go back to the negotiating table. And while that's happening, they will look, as is in keeping with their transfer window so far, at other targets. We do know that talks and open dialogue is still there with Burnley and Fiorentina over Sander Berge and Sofian Amrabat, respectively. So those are two other options that Manchester United are looking at. And interestingly, they will always keep an eye on the situation at Barcelona with Frankie de Jong, because windows in a row with regard to Manchester United. But they'll always keep an eye on him because they have a long-term admiration in the player. But it seems that Manuel Ugarte seems to be the one that they are pushing for the most, but it would require PSG's asking price to come down.
TBT Sports.